My God, I've tried everything. I've tried self-help, and I've tried The Secret and 12 Steps. This dick-sucking whore has cracked the code.
How you doing, ladies? Can I interest you in threesomes? Welcome to This Is Not Happening. I'm your host, Roy Wood Jr. What's up, little Roy?
I did it again.
Hello, Roy. How's the water? Does it feel pure? Can you feel me inside of you?
This next gentleman, you know him from his podcast, the New York City Crime Report, Pat Dixon, everybody!
I'm not local. I live in New York. I live in Chelsea, and before that it was Queens, and before that I lived in my car. For not poverty or anything. I had this idea that I wanted to be in show business. I would be on the road doing stand-up 35 or 40 or 45 weeks a year, and I know it sounds glamorous. But the truth is, it's not. It beats working, though. Working is the worst. And so one week I was not working in Nashville, and I met this girl working in the box office, and she told me she was having a birthday party that night. And it was the Wednesday, the first night of the week, so I went. And when I got there, I saw her, and she was dancing, this natural redhead, and she was wearing skin-tight leopard print pants, and she was laughing the whole time she danced. Never seen anybody like that. And we were introduced, and she just had this intensity, She's like hypersexual and just really interesting right off, and I kind of halfway fell in love with her, really, right then, And she gave me a big hug before she left me standing there. And she was covered with this, there was like a mist around her. She'd been dancing in the warmest room, and the room was warm. The warm was not room at all, but she'd been dancing, and she was kind of sweaty, and I got close to her shoulder. She gave me one of those hugs like you give somebody that you used to fuck, but you since moved on. And somewhere between her hair and her shoulder right there, and I caught a whiff of sex, just the smell, and that was the first time I smelled Laura. And Laura, she expressed a little attraction towards me, I think. I don't know, sometimes these things can be misinterpreted, but I took it that way, because she said to me, if you weren't married, I would take you home and fuck your cock off. And although it was true, I was married, I took that as a firm offer. So, and my marriage was kind of lousy. We didn't talk to each other anymore. We didn't. The more I was on the road, I was gone a lot. I wasn't home, and we started to have less and less in common. Laura, on the other hand, pretty flexible. And she was similar to me. She was no responsibilities, and she would sleep on couches, and she just kind of was willing to travel. And so it got to be a habit. Whenever I would leave town, I would pick her up, and we would go and have sex in hotels, cheap ones mostly. Disgusting. I know, it's disgusting. It really is. But I loved her. I was just madly in love with her. I mean, she's a beautiful girl, and red hair and blue eyes, and her answer to everything was yes. And I didn't have any defense for that right then. You know what I mean? 'Cause if you meet somebody and they fill a void in you, and you seem to fill a void in them, and you guys are filling each other's voids, and you should there's one thing you should do, run away. When a woman will blow you a couple of times a day if you want. You have that going, and it changes your life. It changes the way you process things. You start thinking everything's great. like your life is falling apart, you know, but it feels like everything's finally coming together. Man, you're skipping. You've got a spring in your skip, you know. My God, you know, I've tried everything. I've tried self-help, and I've tried The Secret and 12 Steps. But this dick-sucking whore has cracked the code. Just more and more time, I was starting to see her pissed, you know, and as we moved into the summer, through the summer, it got to be July, and we had a big falling out, and she left in her rental car. I figured that's it. It ran its course. And when the phone rang a couple days later, it was her, and I figured it was for closure. But it wasn't. She told me all about how she had downed a lot of liquor and pills and had to be revived in a hospital outside of Atlanta. And she had been dead and brought back to life. A lot of guys will bail after the first suicide attempt. But I had a lot of hope. And in fact, I think it made the relationship stronger. And, I don't know if you've had this experience. Maybe you have. But you meet a girl, and it's great, and it's nice. And then you start to notice some inconsistencies here and there. And things don't quite add up. And then she starts talking about killing herself. Anybody? I mean, it doesn't have to be a woman. A guy, yeah, but and all the suicide talk, you know. She's like, she used to say. Remember one time she told me, "When you get back from the show, I'm gonna be dead. Be dead in your hotel room." When someone says that, you say, "Oh my God, don't do that. Jesus, that's terrible. Whatever you do, don't do that." You know, at first. And then eventually she tells you, "I'm going to be dead in your hotel room when you get back." And you go, "Well, it sounds like a housekeeping issue." Yeah. I'll mention it. It would solve a lot of problems for me, actually, if you would go ahead and pull the trigger on that plan. Because, you know how it goes. The attempted suicide, and then the talk about suicide. You're like, I can't give this bitch a reason to live, you know? And then when you finally want to break up with her, what happens? Then she wants to tell your wife everything. Well, I know we've all been there. So my wife left, and that was for good. It was more of a formality than anything. And then we were together all the time, Laura and I. You know, she, like I said, kept everything in a couple of duffel bags, and so she threw those in the trunk of my car. And from that point on, it was kind of a blur. You know, it was just sex and hotels and fighting, a lot of fighting. You know, a lot of suicide talk. You can't stop the suicide talk. Only one way to do that. But that didn't occur, and. And there was a fake pregnancy then. You know, she told me she was pregnant, and fortunately it was followed by a fake miscarriage. And I mean, you you have to kind of take her at her word at some point. Oh, you're pregnant? How do I prove she's not? And so that becomes your truth, you know. And now you're living in this insanity, you know. But I came a lot, and so that's what keeps you in. You know what I mean? Is that the sex is so good. You know what I'm saying? That it's like the closest thing to like evidence of the existence of God that you've ever seen, you know? And deep down, we all want to believe. And she's always threatening the cops. Even with the suicide talk, I'd say, I don't know how to handle this, and I think I should call the police because I think we need help. And she'd go, if you call the police, I'll tell them you were hitting me and you'll go to jail. I said, well, well played. Like I said, I was very ill-equipped to deal with this situation. I remember one time I was in Indiana. She told me, we were fighting and everything, and I was trying to get rid of her. And I was like, hey, we have to break up. This is insanity. I hate this, you know. I felt imprisoned, you know. She goes, oh, really? I'll go you one better. She goes, if you give me $200, you'll never see me again. And so I had $200 in my hand by the time she finished the sentence. She took the money, she looked at it, folded it, tucked it into her bra, sat down on the couch and read a magazine. Yeah, you win, you know? I mean, like, we never spoke of it again. It's like, oh, yes, yet again, you win. So she was drunk one night, and I took her home. I left her with her mother, and that was it. And I felt so free and alive, and it felt so good just to be alone again, you know, and to not have all her shit in my trunk. And then the phone started to ring, and it rang throughout December. It would ring 36 times a day, 25 times a day. And I remember we had a mutual friend who was going to come, and we were going to work together in Chattanooga, Tennessee. And that's close to Nashville. So I said, don't call her. Don't tell her you're going to be around, okay? Because she's kind of stalking me. He's like, oh, yeah, I've had him do that before. I'm like, it's serious, okay? You know, tried to emphasize it. She called me 15 minutes later and said, hey, quit telling people I'm stalking you, okay? She said, you don't know the meaning of stalk. And it was January 4th, 2004, and I remember the date because that's a date that someone tried to murder me. I went to the IHOP, International House of Pancakes, which I've had many great experiences there. And like the food, good service, you know. So I get out of the car, and I'm walking into the restaurant, and I hear my name. It's Dixon, you know. And I turn around, and there she is, you know. So angry. Grabs me by the arm, you know. She says, I just want to talk. I just want to talk to you. I just want to talk to you. And I'm like, oh, Christ. And so I'm trying to work my way towards the pancakes. We get right up to the door, and she reaches into her jeans pocket, and she pulls out this 9mm Glock. That's what I later found out that's what it was. At the time, my brain just processed it as, go! But she goes, look, I've got this 9mm. And I grabbed her wrist, and I tried to shake the gun out of her hand, you know, squeeze it out. She jumped on my back, and she starts scratching my face, you know. She's growling like an animal, you know, like she's injured or something. And she's holding onto my head by my eyes, you know. She's digging into my eyes, trying to squeeze my eyeballs and everything. And so I had the gun in my hand, and I got inside, and I slid it across the floor. And there was security guards there at IHOP. Pretty good luck. And they separated us, and you know, I was outside, she was inside. And then I heard this banging on the window, you know, and I turned around, and it was her. You know, she's like, and she was as if she'd gotten what she wanted, you know, mission accomplished. Take that. So I was filling out a police report a few minutes later, and a policeman came over, and it was a funny thing. He says, you know, and I found out from him that they had told her, like, they said, well, what did you intend to do with the gun? And she said, I was going to shoot that motherfucker and then shoot myself. And I said, oh, she says shit like that all the time, you know. Thanks a lot.